Here we are inside the Coachman VIP 460. If we firstly come to the main control panel just here, you will see that we have the master button just here, so 12 volt off, 12 volt on. You'll just about be able to make out the little symbol here that's just letting us know that we have main supply connected, and then it's also displaying the time. This button here turns the water pump on and off, and it will tell you when you press it. Unfortunately, due to the fact of this particular display, you won't be able to see it particularly well on the video itself, so I will just explain what I'm seeing. So it's saying pump on and then pump off when I press this one. This one here just turns all the lights on and off. If they are these touch lights, once they've been turned off, you will need to touch them again to turn them on. Then we also have here the awning light. All other information is then given via scrolling. So firstly, we have condition of the leisure battery, internal temperature of the caravan, your settings menu. To get into that, we just need to press the enter button, and then in here we have display, so we can change the contrast, etc. Sound, whether or not we have button beeps on or off, how you would like your temperature displayed, whether it's in Celsius or Fahrenheit, notifications on or off, so it will let you know, for instance, if the leisure battery is low, what firmware it's running, and then save and exit. After that, we then return back to the home menu again, where it's just displaying the time. To change the time itself, just hold the enter button in. It will then begin to flash, and then just use your arrow buttons to change the time. Beside this, we then have the Aldi control panel for your heating and hot water, on and off on this button here. On initial startup, it will again let you know if you have main supply connected, and then give you an internal temperature of the caravan. If we now press menu, it will bring up its basic functions. So the top one here is for the thermostat, so literally just plus and minus, just pick whatever temperature you would like it to be inside the caravan. After that, we have water. So water is off, water on, and then water on a boost. The boost facility was mainly designed for if there's going to be more than one of you having a shower in quick succession of each other. If you do perform the boost and the heating is running, the heating will turn off. The next two are power source. So at the moment, the system has not started up yet because we haven't picked the power source. So this one here with a lightning strike is main supply. So we can run our mains at 1 kilowatt, 2 kilowatts, or 3 kilowatts, just depending on the amperage of the site that we're on. If I now turn main supply back off again, if we do not have mains, we can run on the gas. And if we do have both power sources available to us, what we can also do is run in dual fuel. This is extremely handy, especially in the winter months, if you want to get up to temperature nice and quickly. The ACC will do absolutely nothing. That is for the workshop. If we now press the cog, this is your settings menu, and within this we have a night timer and a day timer. Just literally turn on and off up here. Select the temperature you would like it to be throughout that period, and then set when you want it to begin, whether or not it's for all days of the week, and when you want it to finish. We can invert the backlight as well, so this screen goes to black, the writing goes to white, and we can also basically say we do not want any hot water throughout that period. We then have the same again for the daytime. After that, we have prioritize, and this is what the system prioritizes in using when in that dual fuel mode. So at the moment it favors main supply over gas. If you are on a very low amp site, what you could do is flip it on its head so it consumes more gas and less electricity. Next we have brightness of the screen, etc. This one is not used on this model. Obviously, if you're going to be using timers, it helps if the time's correct, and that's all this one here is. It just sets the time and day of the week. If we now arrow down, again, the majority of these can only be accessed by the workshop. What we can do is access this one, and I will explain that in a moment. This one here is antimicrobial. You do need to be using night mode in conjunction with this. So night mode has to be active, and this has to be highlighted in green. And then basically at about 2-3 o'clock in the morning, the boiler will come on, heat up rapidly, and kill off any bacteria that may be in the system. Temperature offset, so if you don't think the thermostat is quite correct, you can just tweak it slightly. High altitude mode. High altitude mode, so if you are 1,000 meters above sea level, what you can do is activate this, and then it will make the system run better at that different air pressure. Whether or not you want button beeps on, instead of having multiple timers, what you can do is just have one delayed start and stop to the system. Pump settings, leave this set on thermal. We do not want it on continuous. We do not want the fluid running through the radiators constantly. Full factory reset, so if there is a problem you can reset the control panel. External start, you do have to have additional components added if you want to use that. That then allows you to be able to control your heating and your hot water via a smartphone or a tablet. Obviously language. Service is more again for the workshop, but it will let you know what everything is up to. And then we have installed accessories. In here, the only one really that's of any use is this one, which is load monitor. And if we now return back up, you'll see this is now available. If you arrive on site and you know how many amps it is, you can pick. So let's say we're on a low 10 amp site. It does not matter now that I've ramped it up to 3 kilowatts, it will limit itself and stop you from tripping. Because that's now an activated function, it's appeared here, and I can then go straight to it and turn it off. Next we have the location of the consumer unit. So we have all of the trip switches just here. So we have the individual MCBs, and then the RCD and the test button just here. And then we have all the 12 volt fuses all just here, again all labelled up. The PIR sensor for the alarm just sits there. And if we now remove the cushions and go underneath this bench seat, you will now see the top of the consumer unit. The battery charger actually sits just here. We then also have in here the control board for the power touch motor mover. Some of the gas isolation taps, all in the on position, and I always say that's how they can stay. If you smell gas in the van, I always say go and turn the gas bottle off. The Sergeant alarm box just there, and then the Aldi boiler. To drain the Aldi boiler for winterization, the drain valve is just here, and just make sure the water pump is turned off and then flap up to drain off. That's the cold feed, and that's the drain valve for the hot feed. You will also see a few more 12 volt fuses just tucked there. Next, we have the television aerial just here. So we have the digital amplifier just here, on and off on the top. Control the boost just here. This line here runs to the external point in the battery locker. And then we have the TV aerial mast just here. Undo, push up, get it into the position you require, and then lock into place. Turn the tail to flip it from horizontal to vertical for more additional tuning if required. And then make sure it's back down for travel and tightened. Do not over tighten because these can split. Stereo just here, on and off on the button that says SRC. We have USB connectivity just here and auxiliary. Search for radio stations just here. There we go. Volume button, if you push this, it will then get you into its menu, and you can then change treble, bass, etc., illumination in there. Off again on the SRC button. Also, where the television aerial is, you'll see a switch just here, and this is for the courtesy light on this side of the caravan. Microwave just here, it's plugged in up here. When we open the door, it will then turn on. I always suggest that the plate is removed for travel. And then we have the usual stuff, quick start, stop, minutes just here, etc. Dometic fridge just here, on and off. This is an automatic model, so as long as you're on A for auto, it will find the best power source it can for you. So because we're constantly hooked up to mains at the moment, it has selected mains. If we now went outside and pulled the mains lead out, it would then automatically attempt to fire itself up onto gas. And if we then hitched up and started the engine, it would then automatically go over to 12 volt maintain. We can take it out of auto, so I can manually select gas. I can manually select 12 volt maintain. It's going to beep and we're going to get a red flashing light here at the moment because we're not hitched up to anything. This is the noise it will also make if it fails to light on gas or if you do not have main supply. Temperature control just here. If it does fail on gas but you think it may be due to air in the system, what you can do is just press this button here as it says here and it will reset and try again. Auto is the easiest function to have it on, and then it's just pushed down to open. We then have the hob just here, so we have the electric hot plate operated on this one here. Red light does come on, and then everything else is gas, and it's push in, twist and press the igniter. Automatic gas cutout point when the lid comes down. Beneath that we then have the grill. Again, push in. And then for the oven we do not need the igniter. As soon as we twist, the igniter will start. There we go, bit of air in the system, but we're now lit. Beneath that we then have storage, and also you will find in here a plug plugged in, which is for the electric hot plate. If we now move into the washroom, we have the basin just here, the Dometic toilet just here, bowl swivels all about. To open to the Dometic toilet, just pull like so, and then to flush, just press the button just here. And then close again. And then on the top here we have level indicator for when the cassette is half full and completely full, and then an indicator to let you know if you need to top up the header tank, and then another indication to let you know if you have not inserted the cassette correctly. If we now go into the wardrobe, you will see the header tank for the Aldi heating. All we need to do is just make sure that the fluid is between the minimum and the maximum. Only take your reading once you've turned your heating on and got it up to temperature, as it will expand. If it does need topping up, all we need to do is just take the cap off and then add the Aldi top-up solution. We then have the freestanding table in this wardrobe. And then the shower just here. As we move back into the kitchen area again, if we then look up, you will see we have an Omni vent fan just here. To open the roof vent, just twist. And then to turn on, middle button, and then we have arrows out for extraction and arrows in for cooling, and it's variable fan speed. Just press. And then make sure the roof vent is back down again for travel.